We are asleep at the switch, and we are not paying attention. And we have terrorist organizations infiltrating our country. You know, 40 arrests in the last 6 months of homegrown jihadists is something to be very concerned about. That means they are here, they are recruiting, they have cells in our communities, and I can tell you, Denver has one of the largest cells. There are at least 10 cells in the city of Denver. If you live in the city of Denver today, you have shaken hands with a terrorist, you have exchanged money with a terrorist, you maybe have sat next to a terrorist in a movie theater, you have crossed by a terrorist when you were shopping. In our own community, we can no longer bury our head in the sand. I was very surprised when Napolitano gave her speech a few days ago, where she mentioned terrorism at least 4 times. I was shocked because, you know, this is man-made disasters. We don't call it a war on terror anymore. And overseas contingencies, you know, which ridiculous words. But after the arrest of the 7 in North Carolina, a father, a Caucasian, a Christian, Daniel Boyd, who converted to Islam, was fighting for jihad, flew his own 2 sons to Gaza so he can teach them about martyrdom and jihadism as the highest reward for them to aspire to be. We can no longer bury our head in the sand. And this is exactly why she said, we, the American public, need to be mobilized. We, the American public, need to be vigilant. And I'm proud to tell you that we are way ahead of her. Because with Act for America right now, we have over 60,000 members, 300 chapters nationwide, full-time lobbyists on Capitol Hill, and baby, we are mobilized. And we are organized, and we are the eyes and ears in our community. And it is great citizens, like the people that organized this lecture today. Evelinda Ehrman, I want to thank you. She is our chapter leader. Evelinda, please stand up. Where are you? Evelinda, I do not know where she's standing, but, she's working. She's running around working. Her assistants who worked with her, Vicky Schwartz, Debbie Jacobs, I want to thank you. Patriotic Americans like you are going to save our nation. I want to thank Faith Bible Chapel for opening its doors for us. Thank you, Pastor George and Cheryl. And by the way, I have a special hello from you. I know you're watching us via web, from our mutual dear friend, Judith and Yoram Curiel. I'm sorry you're not here, but they send you their love and they say hello. But I want to thank you, Pastor, for opening your church to us. We need to wake up people in America. And we need churches and pastors to open their churches. We need organization where we can speak to thousands of people at a time, because we need to mobilize the nation. We are fighting a radical enemy that's bent on destroying us. And I want to make something very clear. We are talking about radical Islam. There are wonderful moderate Muslims in the world. Let me make that very clear. We are not against all Muslims. There are 1.2 billion Muslims in the world today. Not all of them are radicals. The radicals are the minority. The radicals are estimated to be between 15 to 25% only. However, that number translates to 180 million to 300 million suicide bombers ready to walk into this room and blow us all up to smithereen. That's as big as the population of the United States. We cannot ignore that number. The peaceful majority are irrelevant in this fight, and here is why. Most Germans were peaceful people. They were not all Nazis. The Nazis were the minority. However, the Nazis drove the whole world into war. And as a result, 60 million people died. 14 million in concentration camps. 6 million were Jews. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. Thank God for the Jews who keep the memory alive so we can remember what happens when people turn a blind eye to evil. Most Russians were peaceful as well. Yet Russian communists were able to kill 20 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. China's huge population was peaceful as well. Yet the Chinese communists were able to kill 70 million people. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. Japanese citizens prior to World War II, not every Japanese was a warmongering sadist. Yet Japan was able to murder its way across Southeast Asia in an orgy of killing 12 million people, mostly killed by shovels and bayonets. The peaceful majority were irrelevant. And today when we discuss radical Islam, we discuss an enemy bent on destroying Western civilization. And unless the peaceful majority in the Islamic world is willing and ready to stand up and fight them, we better stand up to fight and defend ourselves and ensure our survival. I believe every single one of us in life is prepared in life for a time, for a purpose, for a mission. Every trial and tribulation we go through is a preparation for the next step in our life, so we can become better, more equipped to make a difference, to make the world a better place, to change the world, to preserve what we have and pass it to our future generation even better than what we received it. Our founding fathers crossed oceans, and most of them died penniless in order to give us the country that we have today. We owe it to them to preserve what they have created, put their lives on the line, and most of them died broke to give us what we have.